lightweight. Let's talk about the main event for UFC 206 in Toronto. It's a good fight, don't get me wrong. Max Holloway, who deserves a shot at the real championship already in the 145-pound weight class. He is riding a 9-fight winning streak. He's facing Anthony Pettis, who is new to the featherweight division, picks up an impressive victory in his debut over Charles Oliveira, but former lightweight champion. I don't know, man. Give us break it down like a boss for this featherweight fight coming up at UFC 206.
All right. Well, we'll start with Holloway, who, by the way, turned 25 yesterday, the 4th. So happy birthday to him. Well, you better believe that he watched the Oliveira fight, which Oliveira was actually winning against Pettis until he got caught in that guillotine choke in the 3rd round. Now, Pettis was breathing heavy in the break of that 3rd round just before he came out. But for some reason, he still fights well. That means that he has a lot of heart. He fights on heart and instinct. If I would be Holloway, though, I would press the action. Be on boxing range. That means don't give Pettis room to kick. Fight like he did when he fought his very first fight against Poirier. I know he got stopped there, but pushing and countering, the way he was fighting there, that's a really good game plan to fight Pettis. Now, Holloway is also great at staying just outside the reach of his opponent. He has really great footwork, never goes straight back. He works the body and the head, has a great lead hook to the head, which, whether it's a southpaw position or orthodox position, with a cross to the body. I love that combination as well because it's super effective. Now, and he knows also that when Pettis goes to orthodox stance, there's probably a spinning kick coming. The problem is, which one? Is it the spinning roundhouse kick to the head or a back kick to the body? Now, the way to deal with that kind of stuff is to step diagonally forward to the left as soon as he sees Pettis turn. This will make Pettis miss the back kick and to the body, but the kick to the head will be taking all the power away because it's going to miss. Now, Holloway stands very close then, so he can then go for a takedown if he likes, which he probably won't because I've never seen him do it. But he can also clinch from that position. Don't know if he wants to do that as well, since Pettis is good on the ground and has great reversals, so it might backfire if Pettis is able to take him down from that clinch. Now, when Pettis switches to a southpaw stance, he likes to throw the liver kick with the back leg. That again, Holloway does the same thing. But when you're in orthodox stance, you can block that kick with both forearms while rotating your upper body to the right, which automatically will be the load up for a counter right straight punch. But you need that double block since the kick is thrown with the back leg. It has some power on it. So Holloway should also use his back kick to the body because he throws it very well, and it might confuse Pettis since normally he is the guy who's doing that. Now for Pettis, he's 29 years old. I would say he has a little bit of better kicks than Holloway. I like the way he waits for somebody to throw a right hand so he can kick underneath to the liver. I love that technique myself as well. I did it in Japan, knocked the guy out with it, so he has to use that. It might also shut down the straights to the body from Holloway because Holloway will realize when he lowers himself for that right body shot, he could get kicked in the face. So that would be a great thing to do, constantly firing that left kick. Also what Holloway can do to him is what I just explained in Holloway's game plan. When he throws a left kick to the body, he can block that and also countering with that right straight. So both guys can do the same to each other. Holloway has been submitted only once, which was against Poirier. And it never happened again. But why not try to take him to the ground? See what he can do there. I mean, when Holloway stands southpaw, he loves the left kick to the body that I just talked about. As soon as you see the leg move, sidestep to the left. It will take the power out of the kick, and right away drive yourself forward. You get inside leg pick with your left leg, take him down, and then from the clinch, once on the ground, just go for everything. I mean, he's great on the ground. We see never Holloway been tested there, so I think that would be the great thing to do. Also from a clinch. Rain knees, rain elbows, maybe even a tie clinch, pull Holloway down by hanging on his neck. It doesn't cost you a lot of power, but it will make Holloway use his back and his core to stay up straight. So he's pushing upwards the whole time. Then when you suddenly open your hands, what will happen is Holloway will pop up straight because he's been pressing against that weight the whole time. He will extend himself, and that's a great time for a double leg takedown. Funaki Masakatsu showed me that because he did it a few times in the fight, and I asked him about it. Now, that's it. On the feet, these guys are equally skilled, although I think Pettis' kicks are a little bit better, but I think Holloway's boxing is a little bit better. So I give the advantage on the ground to Pettis. I say if Pettis can take him to the ground, see what you can do there. It's pretty much impossible to make a prediction. But if it goes to a 3rd round and from there on, I see Holloway taking it if, and I'm saying that's a big if, he pushed hard and he got Pettis tired.
Another fight we want to spotlight here on Combat Sports Carousel, and this should be a barn burner. Donald Cowboy Cerrone against Matt Brown. My mouth is already watering, Basito. What a fight this should be in the welterweight division. Your protege, Dwayne Bang Ludwig, has been working with Matt Brown. Are you able to shed some light on what they've been working on and how he's been able to help the Immortal One, who let's face it, he needs a big win here if he wants to stay in the mix, because he has been having issues lately, and so I think that's why he went to Dwayne Ludwig in the first place, right?
I think so, yeah. I think for distance, I think that's his problem. Sometimes he comes in too fast. Let's talk about it. He comes off a loss against Ellenberger, right? He got kicked to the body and then strikes on the ground. And he knows that Cerrone also has great body kicks, so he needs to watch out for that. He has a lot of heart. His fight against Eric Silva is actually one of my most favorite fights ever.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that fight, people at home, rewatch that fight, trust me. The distance. Sometimes he closes the distance too fast. And when he doesn't do that, his straight punches are really crisp and really good and really powerful, because he doesn't jam himself and he makes the punches short. So it's easier also to avoid counters if you stay away from your opponent and if you hit him with straight punches at the end of your punch. That's where your straight punch, of course, is the strongest. I also like his long left hook with the right straight. He uses that a lot. I would use that, but add a liver shot. Whether it's a kick or a punch to the body, just add something. He has a great guillotine as well. So when Cerrone shoots for a takedown, see if he can slap it on. Make sure you have the locked in, though, before falling back and putting him in the guard, because Cerrone, well, he's really good on the ground, and he will pass your guard eventually and go for ground and pound, and even maybe a submission.
Yeah, Cerrone's got an underrated ground game, boss. I know, known as the kickboxer and loves to strike, but this guy's got some serious jiu-jitsu game.
He really
or
does.
Gaido Jutsu, as far as he comes from the Greg Jackson camp.
He's got more submission victories than he's got knockouts, and I had that stigma too. Everybody thinks me as a striker, and if you look at Cerrone,
Sure.
they think as a striker. But, if you start looking at the record, you go, wait a minute, he has more victories by way of
He's a
submission.
mixed martial artist. How about that?
Hey, amen to that, my friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
You look at Matt Brown and what he's been able to do. I mean, this guy's been a fan favorite. And let's not forget that 7-fight win streak he had going back a few years. I think of 2012 to 2014, when he finished sixth of his opponents. He's now, again, like you mentioned, coming off the loss to Ellenberger. Before that, Damian Maia, who, let's face it, right now has, might have the pole position at the next shot at the welterweight championship with his 6 straight wins. But against Cerrone, who really has reignited his career now at welterweight, moving up. He was supposed to take on Kelvin Gastelum, and I can't believe the Gastelum who missed weight yet again at UFC 205 in New York. You hear this, boss? He's going to be facing Tim Kennedy in Toronto after, making a deal, and I think, with all due respect, I never want to cost someone his living, but Gastelum shouldn't be in the UFC right now, bro, after everything he's done, and yet he's getting a fight against Tim Kennedy. But our focus is on Donald Cerrone, who was supposed to face Gastelum, but since moving up to 170, boss, he's won 3 straight bouts, all inside the distance, and is coming off that second-round destruction of Rick Story at UFC 202. The guy who represents one of the best camps in the business, we talked about it, the Jackson Wink Gym, has won 11 of his past 12 fights overall. What do you like most about this version of Donald Cerrone?
You can tell he's got more power. You can. Other fighters should start looking at that. Instead of weight cutting, go one weight class up. See what he's doing. His last 4 wins were all been stoppages against top competition. 3 knockouts and a submission. I mean, the guy is on fire right now. So I truly believe that this is the thing to do for other fighters. If it takes Gastelum, he lost again with the weigh-in. And you're right.
But what do you think, boss? Am I being too harsh again?
No, you bet not.
He's a great fighter. He's but this is your job, and it's not just once and not twice. I mean, UFC 205, you get one chance to fight at Madison Square Garden, and Gastelum cost Donald Cerrone that chance.
I'm 100% with you. I wrote it down here. I would not have had a problem with not dropping the 6 months. Give him the 6 months. Make sure that other fighters
exactly.
because that's your job. You come in always disrespectful to your opponent as well.
No, I hear you, man. So, okay, so what do you, Matt Brown, technically, nothing, is there enough time? But, we looked at what Henry Cejudo did under his new trainer, Fitzgibbons, Kieran Fitzgibbons, and I'm wondering, has he spent enough time with Dwayne Bang Ludwig to refine his technique? Because in the stand-up department, I tend to lean towards Cerrone.
Me too, but I kind of gave it away in the game plan for Brown. If I was Cerrone, I would use my striking. But he also knows that his ground game is better. So let's put the ego to the side and see if you can secure a takedown. I always say, why strike if you know that you're better on the ground than your
But
opponent?
Is he better on the ground? Do you really believe that?
Yeah. Cerrone is really good on the ground. It's a lot of people don't give him that, but look at his victories.
No, I hear you. I agree with you. So it's almost like picking your poison because it's I played the devil's advocate there for a split second, but you're right. So in the stand-up, then, like you say, I know you've talked to Dwayne. You don't want to give away the game plan. So, but you feel that he has made improvements under the. How long has he been there? Do you know?
Just I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So, but the thing is with Dwayne, and you know what, with the way we teach it is, you take 2 or 3 things, that's it. You're not going to reinvent the wheel, just a few things.
Good.
And I'm 100% certain that he went for the distance because, every time when you see him fight, Matt Brown, and when he connects with the 1-2 or drops people with a 1-2, he's on the perfect distance. And every time when it doesn't work is when he runs in, he's too hungry. The thing with him is also when he dazes somebody, he forgets control. He's an animal. He wants to finish the job. And I say this to all the fighters: just step away, and reassess the whole situation. Cerrone's going to have a problem because everybody will tell him, "Oh man, you're going to fight with this guy. He's a great striker. You think you can hang with him?" And just because they say that, his ego is going to take over and he say, you know what, I'm going to prove I can knock him out. But I would say use that striking in order to set up a takedown. And even when you connect with a few big punches, don't go for the knockout. Take him down and then maybe on the ground. Have him on the ground, for the knockout there or a submission. That's what I would do if I was Cerrone. But yes, Cerrone's striking is really good as well. But you're better on the ground. I'll take it to the ground.
I admire both. I mean, I respect all fighters, but these two are on my favorites list just because, again, they bring it. Although this is almost the argument that can be made about Demetrius Johnson and those flyweights because they lack power, they are this and that, and yet I love them too. So I don't understand why you have to pick and choose. You're allowed to, I think, enjoy all the various styles, but I almost wish that this fight doesn't go the distance, Bas, because with their hearts and with the way they approach this game, man, they're gonna traumatize each other on Saturday night.
Give us 3 rounds at least, right? That's what I want to see.
No, but if that's what I'm saying. It says I think the less is better for them because they're going to do too much damage to each other if it goes 3 rounds.
Yeah, but I would as the fan.
I know what you mean, but
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say, boy, these guys are going to come out like gangbusters. So that's UFC 206, which of course has suffered some big changes at the top. Although again, it just shows to me the amount of product right now that they're producing. Because with all due respect to UFC Fight Night 102, is it